Hello everyone, it's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. You guys remember when I went down to the Aptera headquarters, we met with Charles Knapp. He was the engineer, he's a mechanical engineer. He was in charge of designing the wheel pants, and he gave us a little demonstration about how they were designing the wheel pants to be more rigid so they didn't wobble, because remember in the Jay Leno video, the wheel pants wobbled like crazy and didn't look great. Well, they have been refining this thing. You can see from this video how they've changed the design quite a bit in the newest update that he gave as part of the Q&A session. So I wanted to go through the video that he did with some updates on the wheel pant design. So let's go over it together.
I'm Charles Koenig, and a little while ago, you saw a recording of me with the earlier version of the wheel pants, and I'm here to give you an update. There have been some changes and some improvements to the wheel pant that I think allow it to satisfy many of its engineering requirements now. Okay. So here you can see an updated CAD model of the wheel pant. At the front and back are 20 millimeter thick ethylene vinyl acetate foam bumpers to allow it to take impacts.
Okay, ethylene vinyl acetate foam is also known as EVA foam, and that's the foam that you see there. It's in the bottom of like flip-flops. It's on in yoga mats, and the more interesting use is it's used in armor for cosplayers. So all this armor that you see cosplayers using is using EVA foam, and they make the helmets out of it, and they make the swords and the weapons and the pistols. All that stuff is EVA foam. So EVA foam can be made in various densities to increase its rigidity. But yeah, it's a very common material, and looks like they're going to make the back and the front of this with EVA foam. So that's good. I think so that'll take any impacts and it should deform and then spring back. You may lose some paint, but the shape of it will retain. I'm hoping that if they plan on making this EVA foam, maybe the EVA foam will be easily replaceable. We'll see about that.
At the top is a plastic structured lens. On the inside is the plate that mounts to the spindle, and then a wheel pant in sheet molded carbon.
Okay, so I think he said sheet molded carbon, which I'm guessing it means that the wheel pants are going to be made out of carbon fiber. Seems like a kind of expensive material to make the wheel pants out of, but maybe it's not that expensive, or maybe it's not carbon fiber. Maybe it's something cheaper than that. Anyways, I'm hoping that these wheel pants are fairly cheap and easy to replace, because I do imagine that these things will get scuffed up, hitting against the curb and things like that when you park. And you know, when you turn the wheels, the wheel pants are much bigger than the tires, and the leading and trailing edge of them are going to move wider than people anticipate, I think. So just like you get tire rub on the curbs, people are going to definitely rub these things on the curb. At least I know I am. Maybe everyone else is just a much better driver than I am, but I expect that these things are going to get scuffed up pretty good. Looks like the inner plate is going to be stuck to the motor. And so when you have to remove the wheel pants to change the tires or something, I think the inner liner is going to stay put, and just the rest of the wheel pants will come off.
With an inner liner permanently bonded together.
Okay,
and
so
what happens when we go to simulate it? Well, we have a model of approximately 800,000 elements, which, when run with the SMC laminate and a plastic lens, gives the following modal results. So this is equivalent to putting the component on a shaker table and allowing it to run at various different frequencies until it itself shakes, until itself moves, and you're getting the resonant frequencies of it.
Okay, so now they've moved beyond the thing that we saw in the Jay Leno video, which is the entire wheel pant shaking, and I think they've fixed that problem. And now they're looking at problems that like I wouldn't have thought of, and that's why I'm not a mechanical engineer. And that's the actual resonant frequency of the wheel pants itself vibrating in and of itself, not vibrating on the struts or the connections. That's what we saw in the previous videos. And I think they feel like that part's been nailed down, and they have enough support and rigidity so that that's not working. But now I'm thinking what they're looking at is when the vehicle is traveling at high speed and there's like high frequency vibrations and also like wind vibrations, that the whole thing itself is not going to hit some kind of resonant frequency and shake itself apart.
The first few modes are trivial. They are simply, since it's not restrained, it could drop or spin in any direction it wanted. The first mode that we can see that's non-trivial is the outer wall of the wheel pant bouncing in and out. Now this is restrained by the outboard bearing, but it occurs at 77 hertz, and that's above the target. And then next you see the 100 hertz motion where the entire wheel pant is involved. This is effectively the first true resonant frequency of the part. And if we could go about 225 miles per hour, we would run into this mode on the road. But we're limited to...
So don't take your Aptera to 220 miles per hour is the take-home message there. The one thing I did notice about this also is that if you look at the shape of the wheel pants in this video, the wheel pants are not the newly designed more aerodynamic shape that has a slight kind of curve at the end. So I assume that Charles is going to have to redo this analysis again with the new shape and make sure that that doesn't cause any resonant frequency. I imagine they've already run that test, or he's doing that now already, and adjusting the thicknesses or the bracing of the wheel pant so it's not an issue within the operational parameters, like up to 110 miles per hour.
110. So there's a considerable factor of safety as far as not having your entire wheel pant shake as you drive down the road. The following modes beyond it, again, a more local mode, but now with compression of the light at the back. And the global mode, where absolutely everything is vibrating around, show that this wheel pant meets the stiffness requirement.
I think it's a little funny how like this area right here is opening and closing. So I think there's going to be a lot of stress on that seam. So hopefully they're taking that into account, and I'm sure they are, because they're thinking of all kinds of things that we didn't even think of. But that they need to make sure that glue right there along the lens is not going to fall apart from the stress of it opening back and forth during its flexing.
Requirements that we set out to meet, and should provide an experience where your aerodynamic shape of your wheel covers does not change as you drive, and it doesn't cause weird reflections in your view as it shakes all over the place. I hope you enjoyed this update, and the next phase we will continue doing development on the lighting and on the mounting between the inner and outer, and then proceed into prototyping, tests, and later production. Thank you.
All right, well, I thought that was a really great update to the video that we had earlier when we went and visited him. After meeting Charles and talking to him when I went and visited him, he seems like an excellent engineer, and he thinks of things very analytically, and seems to be very meticulous about his design, and thinks about a lot of things that I'm sure other mechanical engineers think of, but I hadn't thought of. So it looks like they're dealing with a lot of things. I really like the EVA Foam bumper idea. I hope those are easily replaceable. And I'm hoping that the entire wheel pants is fairly cheap and easy to replace. because again, I think I'm probably going to scuff it along some kind of curb when I park it. Because when you parallel park, you usually have to turn the wheels quite a bit to get into a parallel parking spot. At least I do. Um, and when you turn it, I think the sides of it are going to rub against the curb at least once or twice. Um, a year if you parallel park it a lot. So there's going to be some cosmetic damage. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. Again, thanks to all of our sponsoring members who help sponsor this channel. If you would like to sponsor, the link is in the description below. Also, I'm trying out this new thing where I joined the Amazon affiliates, and if you click the link in the description, if you happen to want to buy anything on Amazon, we get like a small percentage of whatever you buy. It doesn't cost you anything extra to do it. So that's like kind of a free way of helping out the channel if you want to do that. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. Comments below. I really appreciate the discussion that you have. You guys are all like very informative, and I really like how everyone's very respectful to each other in the comments. It's great. Have a great day, everyone.